I'm here with Aron Wellman, and I do want to say this. When Hang the Moon won here in the John C. Mabie, and he had Anisette in that race, the first person to text me congratulations was this fine gentleman right here, Aron Wellman, a true sportsman. But honestly, that I do want you to know, that did mean a lot, that like all my friends were texting me, and you from the same race. It was really fantastic of you.
Yeah, look, we all are in this together. And anybody that supports this industry deserves success. And it was a bittersweet moment. I was happy for you, sad for us, but hey, you got to win with class and lose with class. But if we're going to lose to anybody, I was glad it was you.
Well, speaking of class, Anisette, easily one of the most popular horses in California over the last couple of years. She's really garnered a following. Some great moments on the racetrack, especially for Leo and Jean. I mean, that was fantastic. But tell me about how she's doing coming out of her last race, how she's been training coming into the Breeders' Cup. And she's not the only charge you have in the filly mare turf.
Yeah, we've got two fillies in the race. Anisette, obviously, very accomplished, three-time Grade 1 winner, multiple graded stakes winner. And we're taking a big shot with a filly called Sunset Glory, who certainly is not as accomplished as anybody else in the field, but we believe is a big talent and deserving of the opportunity. But Anisette, she came off the layoff, won the Gamely, came back, won the yellow ribbon here early in the meet at Del Mar in the summertime, and then it was a little quick back to the Mabie, but it was either run in the Mabie and the Rodeo Drive or wait for the Rodeo Drive and have a quick turnaround to the Breeders' Cup. We opted to run her in the Mabie, and it sort of served its purpose as a means to an end, hopefully, because we wanted her super fresh for the Breeders' Cup. We bypassed the Breeders' Cup last year with her, hoping that this year would be her year, and we feel like we've got her where we want her coming into this race.
That's fantastic. I love that filly. Even before I had to run against her, she's fantastic. Let's go to a different division. Let's go with Candied, who I think at this point in time, I think a little underrated for how good she is and what she's accomplished. But how is she coming into the distaff? And with the scratch in there, it looks like, Torpedo Anna has that big bullseye on her. That's what everyone's gunning for. But Candied's pretty accomplished in her own right.
She is. She's a phenomenal filly. Grade 1 winner at 2, Breeders' Cup placed at 2. Stakes winner this year, 4 times Grade 1 placed, running into some Grizzlies, as we'll say.
Yeah.
Torpedo Anna certainly deserves all the respect in the world. She's the champ going into the Breeders' Cup. Certainly, upsetting to see a filly like Idiomatic not be able to polish off her career here in the Breeders' Cup. Really feel for those connections. What a remarkable mare she's been. But selfishly, obviously, not to have to run against her is hopefully a fortunate situation for Candied. She drew the rail again. It's the 4th or 5th time in a Grade 1 she's drawn the rail.
I wasn't going to ask you that, but since you brought it up.
Yeah, we drew 3 13s going long on the turf and a rail in the distaff, so the draw wasn't kind to Eclipse, but we got to play the hand we're dealt. And Candied, a few adjustments, blinkers on, which is something that Todd and I have been tinkering with the idea for quite some time, but we're going to do it on Saturday in the distaff. Irad gets on her for the first time. He breezed her a couple weeks ago at Keeneland, and she just worked lights out. So, look, she's got to find a few lengths on Torpedo Anna for sure. I think the X factor in the race is awesome result, the undefeated filly from Japan, but it's definitely within the realm of possibility that Candied could pop up and run a career best and really give our partners a thrill turning for home.
There goes Harvard. We did the whole story about how quickly you had to acquire him prior to the Pacific Classic, getting him in that race. I mean, it was a whirlwind, but now he's been in your barn for a while. How's he doing?
He's doing awesome, this horse. He's another outsider for sure. And speaking of outside, he drew the 13 hole in the turf. He was second in the John Henry last time, ran a big race. We think he's going to love the 1.5 miles. Look, he's another that's going to have to find several lengths on the top competition in this heat, but he's doing so well, and with $5 million on the line, we just feel like we've got to take our swing for the fences, and hopefully he makes us proud.
I'm forgetting one. You have one more horse in here. Who do you have?
We've got a filly called Vixen.
I'm going to ask you about Vixen, this filly. How's she doing?
Vixen, we partnered up with DJ Stable, Len and John Green. Very fortunate to do so. Mark Cassie's got her. She was beating a nose in the Natama Grade 1 up at Woodbine, and she's doing really well. This race came up ultra tough. I wasn't expecting Aiden to bring Lake Victoria over, but she's here, and that changes the complexion of the race immensely. huge respect for her, and there's, a full field of really good 2-year-old fillies in there. We're drawn wide in 13 again with her, but she's a talented filly. Vacoma's a stallion that's really lighting it up first season. He's got a few juveniles that could really, put him on the map here at the Breeders' Cup this weekend. So we're excited to run her. Johnny V's back on. He rode her in the Natama, and she's going to have to work out a trip, but if anybody could do it, Johnny can.
I'm always impressed with what you guys do at Eclipse. You've done a phenomenal job acquiring horses. Best of luck with all your charges come Breeders' Cup.
Really appreciate it. It's just a phenomenal week. Privileged to be here, and just hoping for a safe and successful journey for everybody.
I love when he was talking about Candied. He's like, yeah, Todd and I were thinking about blinkers. Something we had. When he says Todd and I, he means Todd Pletcher. When I say Todd and I mean you, Todd.